Hello everybody! Happy Art Day! Welcome to Freaking Art! I'm Anastasia and I'm so excited you stopped by to make some art with me today. Well, here in the United States, Mother's Day is coming up. So I thought we'd do a really fun collage project giving flowers. Isn't this cool? It looks super complicated, but it's actually pretty easy. And this way you have a really nice bouquet to give your mom or your grandma or any woman in your life who you love so much. I'm sure they'll appreciate some handmade flowers from you. So before we start, let's do a little breathing and a stretch so we can be super relaxed and focused and ready to make our wonderful art. Are you ready? Okay, let's breathe in and breathe out. Ooh, that feels so good. Let's do it one more time. Let's breathe in and breathe out. And let's roll our shoulders back. And can you roll them forward? And how about interlacing those fingers and stretching out those fingers and hands and arms? Ooh-wee. Well, I'm focused and ready to make some art. I hope you are too. Now for today's class, you're going to need a couple different pieces of colored paper, some glue, a pen or a pencil. I'm going to use a pen so you can see what I'm doing, a small circle to trace, and some scissors. And then we're ready to go. Okay, I'm going to put my drawing to the side, and we'll start making these giving flowers. Now, the first thing we're going to do is trace our hand. Your hand could be whatever color you want it to be. I'm going to go with a nice orange. So, we're going to want to trace our hand and a little bit of our wrist. So put your hand down on a piece of paper. You don't have to spread it real wide. You can just relax it kind of normal. See if I can do this on this surface instead of flat down. If I was you, I'd be doing it on the table. It's a lot easier. So I'm going with the orange hand, like I got a little bit too much sun. And again, I'm using a pen, but you know, maybe use a pencil so you don't have to worry about those marks you're making. So you want a little bit of your wrist. Don't worry about how much yet. We can always trim some off, okay? And we're just gonna trace around our hands. Now I got some bumpy fingers, so woo! So my fingers might look a little bit wibbly wobbly, but that's okay. We just want that general shape of our hand. Okay. So I got my bumpy lumpy fingers in my hand here. And we'll go ahead and cut that out and put it to the side. And don't worry too much about cutting it out perfectly. It's gonna look really awesome no matter what. I promise. And that special lady you give it to is gonna be so excited to have a handmade bouquet of flowers from you. I'm just sure it's gonna brighten their day. Okay, there we go. I got a hand. Now I forgot to say, if you get real frustrated trying to trace your own hand, it's okay to ask for help. Sometimes it's easier to just put your hand out and have somebody else trace it for you. So I'm going to put my hand to the side here. And now I'm going to cut out the center of my flowers. So the first thing you need to do is decide how many flowers you want in your bouquet. I'm going to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because I like odd numbers. So this is where we have our little circle to trace. I don't know if I told you to get a circle to trace, but it'll be helpful. You don't necessarily need one. You could just draw and cut out some circles. I believe in you. So I'm going to trace 3, 4, 5 yellow circles. Now I got a bunch of scrap paper here, so I wasn't being wasteful with all the stuff I have in my studio. Okay, so here we go. We'll see how many I can fit on this page. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can fit all 5 on there. How great! 5. Now again, you can do as many flowers as you want. I like odd numbers. I'm going with 5. So let's go ahead and cut this out. We'll put our centers of our flowers to the side here. Now these ones I'm not as worried about cutting on the line because I can always put the glue on the back side and not worry about the mark showing through and distracting from my beautiful bouquet of flowers. Okay, got all the centers of my flowers cut out. Now let's cut out our stems. Since I have 5 flowers, I'm going to want 5 stems. Now you can draw this out if you want, or you could just cut out some lines and they can be all different shapes and sizes. So I'll just cut out a couple long skinny rectangles here to be my stems. Now we're going to cut out our flowers. Now there's a couple ways you could do this. You could draw a bigger circle and you could just have some circular flowers, or you could just go for some freehand wavy flowers, or you could make your petals come to points. Artist choice. It's whatever makes you happy and you think looks great. I like this wibbly wobbly wave, which I drew freehand without tracing. So I'll show you how I did that. I'm going to do 3 purple flowers and I'll probably do 2 pink flowers. So I'm going to start with my pink paper. And this is how I did my fun free-form wibbly wobbly flower. I don't know why that doesn't want to go on, but it doesn't want to go on. So I just put my center of my flower down and held it somewhere on my page, real good and secure, while I drew my petals around it. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to do another one because I want 2 pink ones. So again, I'm just putting it somewhere where I have space to draw my petals. And there we go. I got my 2 pink ones. Now I'll go ahead and draw 3 purple ones. And then I'll just cut them all out together. So again, I'm just holding down the center of my flower in place and drawing some bumpy lines around it. And again, you can be as precise as you want with this. If you just want a really nice big circle, you could do that. You could do some pointed ends like this. It's up to you. Artist choice. So now that I think I'll do one more wobbly one. Now that I got my flowers traced, I'm going to go ahead and cut those out, and then we'll start putting the whole thing together, which is the most fun part anyway. Okay, now we got everything cut out and I got it to the side. Now the first thing we're going to do is glue down our hand. Now you can see that the fingers on our hand is curled back over. So we're only going to put glue on our thumb piece and most of the back of our hand, but not our fingers. Don't worry, I'll show you. So take whatever piece of paper you're going to use. Get your hand. Don't worry if it's not completely straight on the edge or if it's coming off, because we're going to bend those fingers over. You could also put a little bit off this way, and you could always cut that piece of arm or fold it under. So let's put some glue on our hand. Now I'm going to put glue. You don't have to totally cover it, remember. I'm just going to put glue on my thumb and probably right to here, so we can bend back those fingers. Okay. I was trying to decide what piece I wanted my mark to show on. That's why there was that extra thought process going on there. So I'm just going to do a little bit of glue on the edges here of my hand. I'm going to about here, like right to the bottom of where my pinky starts. Going down and on the thumb, because that's going to be on the paper. And maybe do a couple dots in the center here. Okay, now take whatever you want your background paper to be. So I'm doing this way. When you hold something, your thumb's usually on top. So I'm putting my thumb on top. It's not the most important, but I'm being anatomically correct here. So I'm just putting the edge of my wrist on the edge of the paper and pressing down the thumb piece and that part of the hand. Now the next thing we're going to do is put in our stems. Now you kind of want them so your fingers are going to fold back. So you want them to be in this general area of your palm. You could have them stick up or down as much as you want. You can always add two together if you cut them too short and you want more of those stems to show. I'll probably do that. So mine are all the same length. Just making this one a little bit longer. I think I'll add a little bit onto that stem too. Now if I would have cut longer pieces of paper, I wouldn't have to be worrying about this. But that's okay. The hand's gonna hide it, so I'm not too worried about the double jointed flowers. And really, if you look at a real flower stem in person, it has little knobbies on it from where the leaves and stuff come off. So let's see. So I've got 4. I need 1 more. Okay. So we got our hand glued on, we got our stems glued on. Let's go ahead and put on our flowers. Remember, your flowers probably look different than mine. You could have a different number of flowers. I have 5. And just put them on top or covering somehow your stems. I'm going to go ahead and put my centers of my flower down as I put down the petals, because some of my flowers are going to overlap, which creates space, if you remember. So mine are going to overlap because they're kind of big, but it also makes it look like there's a big bunch when they're overlapping. And again, you don't need to put glue all over. I think I like glue sticks better, but I've run out of glue sticks. So right now I'm using just the plain Elmer's. And just put those petals somewhere on the top of your stems. Put the center of the flowers down. and keep on going. Okay, we got all of our flowers in with the stems and the petals and the pollen in the center. Now we're going to do the fun, tricky, magical part. So see these fingers that are hanging off? We're going to just put a little dot of glue kind of where your fingernails would be. Okay, now watch this. Watch this, it's a cool trick. We're just going to fold it over and press it down right on that glue. And hopefully it stays. Now you might need to bend your paper a little bit so it doesn't flip back up, or you could also put a little bit of tape right there while you're waiting for it to dry. But if you bend your paper, it should work pretty good. And there you go. You got a hand holding a bouquet of flowers. Now from here you could do whatever you want. You could write on here, I love you so much. You make everything so much better. You could put some fingernails on here. Okay, we'll do that. That doesn't look too bad. Kind of looks like black fingernails instead of purple, but that's okay. Well, yeah, this is just a start. Your imagination is your only limitation on how far you want to take this really awesome Mother's Day project, giving flowers. Now, I hope you liked today's class. I think it's really fun. I would love to get one of these flower bouquets in the mail, so if you feel like sending me one, I'm totally okay with that. Address down below. But if you like today's class, please like and subscribe and share with your friends. It helps me continue to make these fun art classes for you on the internet. And if you have any questions, just reach out. And of course, I love to see your totally awesome art creation, so please tag me on Instagram at freaking art, or shoot me an email, or send me some snail mail. Love to see you anywhere I can. And I'll see you guys soon, okay? Have a great week. Bye.